G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I'm reviewing the Philips Air Fryer 5000 Series XXL. So obviously this right here is the Philips Air Fryer 5000 Series. This is the XXL variant, it's the connected variant. And if it's looking a bit battered and bruised, that's because I've been using the hell out of this machine for a whole year now. And in this review, I'm going to explain to you why we've used it so much and why it's become pretty much a linchpin of our family dinner routine. Now, being a XXL, it's family sized. And it's easily going to do a family of 4, we're a family of 5, and handles a family of 5 just fine too. Now we'll start by looking at the price. And the recommended retail price for this air fryer is $449 here in Australia. But it's been on the market for quite a while. And I had a look around just before I filmed this review, and it was going on a lot of different retailers here in Australia for $299. Now when you look around the market, that puts it about the same price as the lower capacity Sunbeam and the higher capacity Ninja. So it's more or less in the right ballpark, and I think if you can get this thing for $299, it represents pretty good value for the performance that you're going to get out of it, which we're going to dive into a little bit more in a second. But for the moment, let's have a look at the specs. So as an XXL capacity, it has 7.2 litres of space, or roughly 1.5 kilograms of produce, although I'm positive I've cooked 2 kilogram chooks in this before and it's handled it no worries at all. Now it utilizes rapid air technology, which is all about heat circulation, kind of swirling the heat about the food, and I'm going to go into that more, but that rapid air technology is a big deal and works a treat. Now it's compatible with the Home ID app, which can give you a window into its operation from the couch, like how's it going, how much longer it's got left, that type of thing, as well as dishing up a whole bunch of curated recipes to try. And you can even send these recipes, you can even choose a recipe and then send it to the air fryer, or even use voice control to get it going. Now there's 16 cooking functions to scroll between. Think fry, bake, grill, roast, dehydrate, toast, defrost, reheat, even ferment. But to be honest, I don't tend towards them. I kind of just press the buttons and go. Now it's claimed to use 60% less energy and be 40% faster than a traditional oven, and I think that is probably a fair estimate. It's definitely a lot quicker to use as the preheat time is so short, and shorter means less energy, surely. The basket has a non-stick coating, which does make it very easy to clean. The cable is 80 centimeters in length, which is, in my opinion, too short. It goes to a max temperature of 200 degrees. You can set a timer up to 180 minutes, so 3 hours. It weighs 6.25 kilograms, but when you're actually moving it about, it feels a lot lighter than that. So it handles its weight well. And I think it's worth mentioning that the casing on the outside is built out of 90% recycled materials, and the manual that comes with it is 100% recycled material. All right, so let's look at the design of the device. Obviously it's an air fryer. It's not going to be the piece of art that your kitchen needs to stand out with your guests. It's not bad looking, you know, like I kind of like the way that they've done the vent at the top and the way that kind of buys into it. The kind of shape is really not too dramatic considering that it's an XXL and it's got a large capacity. Now the screen up the front here, the touch screen, I think is really clear and obvious. It's very, very straightforward. It gets a little bit hard if you're kind of going off the main preset functions to kind of go into like the second layer of it. But for the most of the time, you're literally just going to putting stuff in and going bang, bang, bang for the temperature, bang, bang, bang for the minutes, start. And off she goes. It's really that simple and straightforward. It's very obvious what you're doing. Everything's given enough space. They've done a really good job with that. Now the basket is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's literally a one-hand operation. Boom, out she comes like that. And then you can flick here, I'll show you. You can just flick this guard off, there's a button, and out she pops. Tip, that's all it is. And then she just goes straight back in, click, click, one-handed. It's too easy, right? It's unbelievable. They've done such a good job with that side of, with the basket. It slides in every time, first time, in and out. I've used other air fryers where you can sit there trying to get it in exactly the right spot forever. It's a pain in the butt, especially the cheaper air fryers. This one, they've just nailed it. And that thing as well is just so easy to clean because it just pops out. You can put the actual basket, you can probably put, we don't tend to use so this bit here, we just put in the dishwasher. You know, you come out, you give it a wipe down, you put it in the dishwasher. Usually what I'll end up doing is I'll tip whatever fat's in there in the dog bowl with some dry dog food and let the dog have a great time. And then stick this in the dishwasher and hand wash this. You can probably stick this in the dishwasher as well, but because of these grooves up the top, which you can see here, it's just a little bit more difficult to get fully dry. So we tend to hand wash that. But that's pretty good, right? Too good. Now with the cons, like I mentioned, the cable length is a bit of an issue. So that's kind of like, that's 80 centimeters long. It's going to restrict where you can put this on your bench top, I'm sure. You're going to have to move it left, you're going to have to move it right, you have to move it somewhere potentially in order to get it close to the power point with you. There's also no window, as you can see. So sometimes you can look in on the food, either through the top, generally through the side, and this you cannot see it. So that's a bit of, it's not a flaw, I don't think. I think that would probably compromise other parts of the machine to be able to do that, but it is nice to be able to see it cooking. It's actually quite fascinating. And just to be able to, at a glance, just see how it's going. But because it's so easy to take in and out, what I tend to do is just walk up, pull it out like that, do a few of these, move the nuggets around, move the chips around if I need to, flip the burger patties over if I feel like it, and then just stick it back in, and the machine will just stop, let you do your thing, and as soon as you put it back in, she'll just start back up again. So the window isn't such a big issue. What I will show you though, if you come in closer, is that there is one little unfortunate part of the design, and it is at the bottom of here, there's a bung hole, like this, which did originally have a little kind of rubber heat-proof bung in it to basically stop fat from going through into the base of the device itself. And we lost it at some point, I've got no idea when. It's such an easy thing to just knock out when you're hand washing it. So either us or the kids, someone's knocked it out, it's gone. It costs $30 plus $10 shipping to replace it. And we haven't bothered replacing it because of the design, which has this raised kind of ridge to it here, plus the fact that there's this cross in the middle of the design of this basically means that we haven't had any fat drop in it anyway. But it would have been nice if that bung was more secured. I'd feel more happy if it was in there. But of course, most importantly, how does it perform? And that's where this thing really, really shines. The performance and the way that it cooks the food is excellent. In fact, I would say that this has probably replaced 50% of our usage of our oven, a really expensive oven. We're now actually probably 50% of our family dinner routine, we actually just go to this. In fact, anything that fits in here, we just use this now, 100% of the time. And I've got to give credit to the build quality. You know, it does such a good job of obviously capturing the heat and there's very little smoke. This thing never sets off the smoke alarm. You wouldn't even realize. Handful of times there's maybe been a bit of a hint of smoke, otherwise it traps it all in, which traps the flavour in as well. Whereas if I'm frying on the stove, I set off the fire alarm every bloody second time. And the rapid air technology, got a lot of credit to that as well. It's obviously, it does such a good job of just circulating the heat in such a way that the food always comes out just completely cooked. There's no weird little frozen spots or bits which are overly cooked and bits that aren't overly cooked. It always comes out really, really well, no matter what we throw in it. And we use it all the time. Chips, nuggets, burger patties, sausages, sandwich toasties, chicken Kievs, schnitzels, like reheating chips, reheating food, fish. We've done all kinds of things in here, right? And the reality is there's so much more to do. Like I basically, because of how we are in the family and our family routine, we're very time poor, we're parents, we're pretty much just using it on its most basic settings. And if I was going to go and explore deeper into the recipes and deeper into the settings, it's only going to get better, right? And it's already so good. And the reason why it's so good is because it traps the moisture in really well. Like the beef patties come out of this and they're just so juicy. They're so succulent. The chips come out and they're not dripping with fat. They're just like really, really buoyant. You know, it's hard to describe. I put veggies in there as well. Whole chickens come out just like mint, you know, and it's just so easy to use. You stick it in there, you press a button, you walk away, it's preheated in a couple of minutes, and off she goes. And then you come back, pull it out, bang, and serve it. There's a little bit of trial and error, just trying to work out what the perfect timing is for each food, because it's not the same as your oven. You know, it tends to cook a bit faster than that, so you might, a couple of times on a couple of particular types of food types, you might overdo it, but you'll adjust to that reasonably quickly and start getting some very, very delicious food out of the Philips Air Fryer 5000 series. So as you can probably tell, I'm quite a big fan of the Philips Air Fryer 5000 series, and I'm a big fan because I've used it religiously now for over a year, and it still just keeps delivering. It's still something we use multiple times every single week, more so than our oven, which costs well over $3,000. And this thing, if you can get it for $299, is therefore quite the steal. And like I said, the most embarrassing thing is that I still haven't even come close to tapping what it can actually do, but it's already worth it. So yeah, very happy to recommend this one. Totally worthwhile buying it if you're in the market for an air fryer, in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out my other videos. I'm Chris Stead, and until next time, I'll check you later. You.